Well, I think the daddy of the buy and burns is PulseX, right? Like I remember when the tokenomics were first kind of being released, about how the protocol was going to use essentially its volume to fund a buy and burn, right? And you know, that was just a fascinating time to really dig into that. And it really birthed a lot of it really birthed the Permabull tokenomics in general. Um, it was just the whole premise of what is really happening during a buy and burn. Like, I've said this multiple times, but we were talking about it for at least a month. Like, we need to come up with a term for this, because you essentially are having a buyer who buys and then never sells, right? So he's permanently bullish, right? And so that's how we came up with this idea. So the definition is really just, you take in a protocol fee that buys and burns the token that you just minted. So that's really all the Permabull tokenomics are. Hopefully that answers your question, but Kool-Aid, I know you got something you want to say.
Oh, I can say all sorts of stuff on that. I think if you look at what a Permabull is with bindable code that can only do one thing, and that's benefit the system, you can call it a benevolent whale. You can call it a tip of the hat to a reverse OA, but it's actually not just taking the idea of what PulseX's buy and burn was, because it's using itself to do that. It's bringing in extra economic power and energy to reflexively push that design forward, and not just a small bit forward, but dramatically forward. And when you're pushing things dramatically forward, reflexively in a seesaw, it's going to go the other way in your favor based on design. Because if you're looking at proof of time or a T-share, there's two components to it. There's the inflation part of the creation system of yield, but there's also time lock. And that time lock ladder is actually protecting you from yourself. And we'll dive back into that a little bit later, why holding a Permabull token is almost like the yield you would have gotten at staking, but it's much more focused onto number go up, which is really what people care about. But because people see more units in their wallet, they think they're getting something, even though theoretically it's inflating from somewhere else. Almost like pegging a stable coin to $1, but yet we complain that $1's inflating. You're stably pegging yourself to an inflatable asset versus holding an asset where it's going in the opposite direction programmatically.
Or another way to put it is like, how do you disincentivize somebody from selling something that they got for free? Right? Or something that they just minted, whether it came for free or if it came at a cost, and whether or not you had to create the token or if it was just inflated for you.
Sure. And then take that one step further. If you bought the token or you created it itself, is a different model. You can trade Permabull tokens all you want, but if I'm bringing economic energy that I owned and I push this through that system, I'm forcing that system to, yes, create, not inflate, but I'm giving it my economic energy. And then I know that if I hold this token, 85% of that, or based on which system you're looking at, because we modulated it just a little bit, but most of that economic energy is going into a reflexive system that's going to take it off the market and permanently delete it, not remove it and put to the debt address. So there's two different principles there.